Bitcoin continues to hover just underneath 68,000. So it did make a slightly higher high today, piercing 68, pulling back just a little bit below. This still is resistance until proven otherwise. And by the way,
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's discuss these topics and more.
let's go over the action in the markets today. So you can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average actually had a pretty nice day, but remember, that's more defensive names, right? So defensive names here, Walmart was up today. You had other names like that doing very well. Here's where it was a little weaker, right? The S&P was up about 0.4%, or is up about 26 points, while the NASDAQ is only eking out a small gain of 0.25% after losing 1% yesterday. So again, they're coming back a little bit. Buy the dip is very common these days because it works or has worked. Eventually it won't, but right now it has worked. But nonetheless, we're not seeing some major upside there, like a big reversal until we get that Taiwan semi report tomorrow morning. Oil continues to go down, nearing $70 a barrel, down 50 cents on the day. Gold is trading up again today, up about $12, right around that key level. And then Bitcoin today is still kind of hovering just underneath that key 68,000 marker. And that's the big one, folks. I've talked to you. We'll go over that chart in a minute. But on Bitcoin, 68,000 is make or break for that stock, or I should say that cryptocurrency. Taking a look at the heat map here, you can see, again, Apple down a little bit, but NVIDIA today strong. Now, you may say, well, why is NVIDIA going up 3% on the day when the chip sector is so waiting very cautiously for the Taiwan semiconductor report tomorrow? And the answer is this. This is best of breed right here. So even though other semiconductors are struggling or flat today, like Taiwan Semi's only flat on the day, people are still willing to buy the dip on NVIDIA because that is the best player out there. They're willing to go into that one saying, you know what, this one's going to be a rock star regardless of what the rest of the sectors are doing. Financials are green. We have technology services, mostly red over here, led by Microsoft, about 1% down. Also, Meta's under pressure. And I want to show you that chart. It's actually a really fascinating chart. All right, let's get back to the computer here and take a look at a couple of the key charts out there. So if we go down here and we bring up our charts, this is your intraday spiders, right? So here's where we opened the day right over here. Check that right here. This was your 9:30 open. You could see it was basically flat. And then look at the slow grind all the way today. Just slow grind, neutral to higher into the end of the day. That's, again, the slow buying of retail investors, but no major money committing to the chart. Now, I promised you to look at Taiwan Semi, right? So Taiwan Semi, and let's go to the big board and analyze this. So the first thing that I have annotated on the chart is this. All right, so this is a double top right here. Double top right there and right here. So you hit your double top. Now, historically, if you look at probability-wise, when you have a chart like this and it goes up and then has a correction and goes back up, generally that double top is significant resistance, and generally probability favors some sort of check back. What you don't know, though, is it's already checked back a little bit like this. Is that the check back, or is it going to be more? Now, probability-wise does favor a little bit of a bigger pullback, but again, this is one of those where it's the AI chip sector. Is it going to defy gravity? Is it going to defy reality and probability? If you just look at 100 of these charts, generally your double top pullback is a little bit bigger, probably by about 70% of the time. So 7 out of 10 times, you should get a bigger pullback. Let's watch tomorrow, and in the game plan, I'll go over it, what ends up happening with Taiwan Semiconductor. Okay, and again, folks, that's the big one. Now, let's talk a little bit about Meta here. The reason why Meta is so intriguing to me, if we come back to the big board and take a look, is because of the weak nature of it. If you look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500's continued to climb up and make higher highs until basically yesterday. Yesterday, we had a little dump. The NASDAQ dumped out as well. But if you look here, the high on Meta was put in right here, and this is what we call a reversal candle. You have a big green followed by a big red reversing that entire move. That's a bearish sign. If you look at the following days, while the S&P was going like this and the NASDAQ was going like this, Meta was trading sideways. It was actually making bullish consolidation, all right? But there's a caveat. Bullish consolidation with a reversal candle is not necessarily good.
Bitcoin has confirmed a breakout above $67,000, signaling potential for further gains. Traders are now watching key price levels, including $70,000 and $75,000 as momentum builds. Bitcoin has confirmed a breakout, with OBV across major exchanges like Binance showing strong buying pressure. Traders are now focused on the psychological barrier of $70,000. Historically, this level has been a key point of resistance, where sellers have intervened. A surge in volume as BTC approaches $70,000 could confirm further bullish momentum, while weak volume might signal a pause. On the downside, $63,000 is a crucial support level. A retracement to this zone would be considered healthy for Bitcoin, giving the asset time to cool down before attempting another move higher. Maintaining this level would indicate continued control by buyers. If Bitcoin surpasses $70,000, the next target is around $75,000. This level may attract profit-taking, creating midterm resistance. However, if buying pressure continues to build, Bitcoin could achieve this target in the short term. Bitcoin's confirmed breakout suggests renewed strength, but traders should watch these key levels closely in the coming days to gauge the potential for further upside. Ethereum's futures open interest hit a new all-time high on October 16, a pattern that in the past has been followed by severe price corrections. Traders are now bracing for a potential price drop as Ethereum struggles with resistance at $2,650.
You can't have preconceived notions. Resistance is resistance until it breaks and confirms, just like support is support. So many of us that have HODL positions in Bitcoin might be like, oh, it's going to break out. Well, it might, and maybe eventually it probably does, but you don't know if this is it, and you have to respect that resistance. Traders that go over it and say, oh, you know what, it's going to break out, well, they're jumping the gun, and that's where you get yourself in trouble. Make it break before you jump to conclusions. All right, next chart, let's look at is gold here. Gold just holding steady on the day, trading just above this trend line here. Again, there's still resistance right in this zone, not much going on there. And silver, same thing. Silver's really not doing a whole lot. I still favor a pullback on silver here, although, again, it's been grinding up just a little bit recently. Still underperforming gold, though, as, again, gold's made a new, or basically back to these highs, while silver has still struggled. Oil today, we talked about this. This was under pressure, continues to sell off just a little bit. And natural gas continuing its downward momentum. Beautiful pullback here continuing. Again, I'm looking to potentially buy here if it gets down here. And like I said to you guys, I'll be looking to short up there. All right, so just to summarize, we know what we're watching, right? If you're a trader, if you're an investor, by the way, investors, traders, you still have to pay attention to the same things. Tomorrow morning, Taiwan Semi supposed to come out around 2 in the morning because it's an overseas company. Those earnings will impact the futures. In fact, you won't even have to look at the earnings on Taiwan Semi. Just look at the futures at like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. If they're down sharply, you can bet Taiwan Semi was negative, right? It was not a good earnings report. If they're up nicely, it was probably a good report. The other thing to watch, jobless claims. Last week, jobless claims, people filing for unemployment jumped substantially to 258,000. Was that an outlier or was it the new norm? That's what that number will tell us tomorrow, which will also impact the market.
Ethereum's futures open interest hit a new peak of 5 million Ethereum on October 16, signaling a surge in leveraged trading. While rising futures demand isn't inherently bearish, such high open interest levels have historically been followed by price corrections, with August 2023 being a key example when Ethereum dropped 31.7% after hitting a similar peak. High leverage in futures markets increases the risk of sudden price movements. Forced liquidations, where traders are compelled to sell assets to cover their leveraged positions, can lead to rapid price declines. This cascading liquidation effect is something traders closely watch, as it can amplify market volatility. Similar spikes in open interest have occurred before significant price declines. For example, in April 2023, Ethereum dropped 24% after a similar rise in open interest. The current situation mirrors previous patterns, increasing the risk of a potential price drop. If the broader cryptocurrency market remains neutral, a 20 to 25% price correction could push Ethereum down to $1,960. However, if Bitcoin breaks through its $70,000 resistance, the increased leverage in Ethereum could support further gains instead of a crash. Ethereum's open interest spike could be a warning sign, with a potential price correction on the horizon. Traders should prepare for volatility while monitoring broader market trends. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to BitcoinZella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.